All right, let's talk about day trading. You've probably heard about it, maybe you're curious, but man, it can seem super overwhelming, right? All that noise, all that jargon. Well, you're in the right spot. We're going to cut right through all of that today and give you a simple, straightforward blueprint to get you started on the right foot. Let's get into it. And hey, this quote, that's our exact promise to you in this explainer. Look, we're not here to sell you some get-rich-quick fantasy. That's not what this is about. What we are going to do is lay out a real foundational process, step by step, that helps you build actual skill and, some real confidence. The whole point is to help you skip over those super common and super expensive mistakes that so many beginners make.
Okay, section 1, your day trading mission. And this is so important. Before we touch a single chart or talk about any tools, we got to get clear on our mission. Like, what are we actually doing here? And maybe even more important, what are we not doing?
So here it is, the official definition. But what does it really mean? Well, at its heart, day trading is a super active, really short-term game. We're talking minutes, maybe a few hours. You're trying to snag profits from these small little wiggles in the price. And here's the absolute #1 golden rule. You are out of everything before the market closes. No holding positions overnight, ever. The slate gets wiped clean every single day. And you've got to understand, this is not investing. It's not even close. Let me put it this way. An investor, they're planting an oak tree. They're in it for the long haul, thinking in terms of years, even decades. A day trader, on the other hand, is a sprinter. All you care about is that next 100-meter dash. It's a totally different sport, a completely different mindset. You're not playing the same game at all. All right, moving on to section 2, the foundation. We're talking mind and market. So we know what day trading is. Now, let's get into the foundation you need to build before you do anything else. And here's a little spoiler for you. It's got nothing to do with some fancy, expensive software. It's all about what's going on right up here in your head, your mindset, and how well you actually understand the market. This right here, this is probably the biggest, most common trap that beginners fall into. You think the whole point is to win every single trade, to be right all the time. But listen, the pros, they know that's literally impossible. Their goal isn't a perfect track record. It's a perfect process, something they can repeat day in and day out over and over again. They're playing a game of probabilities, not a game of ego.
So this professional mindset really boils down to 3 key things. First, and this is huge, you've got to treat this like a business, not a trip to the casino. You're not buying a lottery ticket here. Second, you have to get that your biggest enemies aren't out there in the market. They're in your own head. It's fear and it's greed. And the only thing that can protect you from them is a rock-solid plan. And last but not least, you have to accept deep down that the market is just indifferent. It doesn't know you exist, it doesn't care if you win or lose, and it definitely doesn't care about your feelings.
Okay, so if the market doesn't run on feelings, what does it run on? What makes prices actually move? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It's just supply and demand. That's it. So understanding the mechanics of how and why price moves, that's the other half of your foundation.
I like to think of this part as learning a new language. You don't have to be a genius, you don't need a PhD in finance, but you do have to learn the basic vocabulary. We're talking about looking at a price chart and actually understanding it. Knowing what those little red and green candlesticks mean, they're basically telling you the story of a battle between buyers and sellers. You need to get what market structure is. Are we going up, down, or sideways? And finally, you got to have a sense of liquidity, which is just a fancy word for where the big money is. Once you get these basics, you can start seeing things based on logic instead of just guessing.
Okay, section 3, building your trading blueprint. We've got our foundation set, mindset, check, basic market knowledge, check. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. We're going to talk about the actual tools you need, and this is the most important part, how to build your personal blueprint that's going to guide every single decision you make.
So step 1 is getting the right tools, and these are the absolute non-negotiables. You need 4 things. 1, a charting platform, something like TradingView, so you can see what's happening. 2, a broker, so you can actually place trades. 3, a demo account. This is for practice, no real money involved. And 4, a trade journal. You've got to track everything. Think of it like a mechanic's workshop. You wouldn't try to fix a car without a wrench, right? Same idea here.
Listen, if there is one thing you take away from this, let it be this. A plan is what separates trading from pure gambling. I really can't say this enough. If you click that buy or sell button without a written plan, you are not trading. You're just gambling.
Your plan is what you commit to before the emotions kick in. Because trust me, they will. It's your rule book. So what goes into this plan? Well, it's basically an unbreakable contract with yourself. And it has to answer these 4 questions before you even think about putting money on the line. Question 1, exact when and why will you enter a trade? What's your signal? Question 2, where's your stop loss? This is your emergency exit. It's where you say, okay, I was wrong, and get out to protect your money. Question 3, where will you take your profits if you're right? And finally, question 4, exactly how much money are you risking on this one trade? If you can't answer all 4 of those, you're not ready. You're just clicking buttons. And that brings us to our final section, number 4, the method, going from practice to pro. So you've got the mindset, the basic knowledge, the tools, and a plan. Awesome. But how do you actually turn all that stuff into real skill? Well, it comes down to one word, practice. Disciplined practice. Look, before you even think about risking one single dollar of your hard-earned money, you have to prove to yourself that your plan actually works. How do you do that? You get on a demo account. You're using fake money, but you're trading in the real live market. We call this forward testing. It's exactly like a pilot in a flight simulator. You're building muscle memory, you're proving you can follow your rules under pressure, all before you actually get in the cockpit with real passengers, or in this case, real money. And this is a journey, for sure. It's a step-by-step process. You don't jump out of the flight simulator and straight into the captain's seat of a 747, right? No way. Stage 1, you practice and demo until you see consistent results. Stage 2, then, and only then, you go live. But you start small, like really small, just to get a feel for the real psychology of having money on the line. And stage 3 is just forever. You're always in this cycle of trading, reviewing what you did, and refining your process. That's the game. And this really sums up everything. So many people starting out waste years searching for the holy grail, that one magic indicator that's going to tell them exactly when to buy and sell. Let me just save you a whole lot of time and money. It does not exist. It's a myth. Real, lasting success in this game comes from mastering you, your process, your psychology, and your discipline. That's it. It's an internal game. So there you have it. That's the blueprint, from top to bottom. We talked about your mission, your mindset, the tools, the plan, and how to practice. The path is laid out right in front of you. Now, there's really only one question left to ask. Are you ready to do the work and build that discipline? Thanks so much for tuning in.